Hi Julie. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a super delicious recipe. Potatoes au gratin with caramelized onions. I actually made this recipe for my mom's birthday. That was in April, 14th of April. And I started first looking for recipes. I made a little research and ended up inventing my own recipe basically. Uh, so from what I learned from other recipes and from what I saw of other recipes, I invented my own. I had already done a video for the recipe before you asked for this project because I was bored basically. So I recorded like everything, the process of making this recipe. So now I'm just going to walk you through the footage that I did that day. And hopefully you get inspired to try this recipe because it's super easy to make. I swear, you don't even need like the oven to make it. I actually used the microwave and it is really tasty. Really tasty and really easy. So I hope you try it. And without further ado, let's get started with this beautiful tutorial that I made for you. Okay, so everything starts with onions, of course. And for this recipe, I decided to use 4 big onions. I don't know if that's a lot of onion, actually. But what I do know is that I love onions and that there are never enough onions for me. So yeah, you have to julienne the onions, which is basically to cut them super thin so you can get them caramelized quicker. This will then serve as our sauce. So everything that we are doing right now will be our sauce. So in this part of the process of the recipe, what we are looking for is for a lot of flavor. So when we blend everything together, it tastes better. Throw those onions in a pot on low heat and add some olive oil. Put a lid on the pot and let that cook for some minutes. In the meantime, you have to cut some slices of garlic. I used 3 garlic cloves or 4 garlic cloves, I think. And the reason why I don't care much about cutting the garlic super small and thin is because at the end all this mixture will be blended to make our sauce. So actually the size doesn't matter that much. This is how it should look like after approximately 10 minutes of being at low heat. Now, the brownish stuff that you see at the bottom of the pot is not that it is burnt or anything, I swear. it is just the concentration of flavors of the garlic and the onions that are being caramelized. And it actually will serve as a condiment for when we add our wet ingredients. So yeah, our first wet ingredient is brandy. Whoa, alcohol, yes. This will give the sauce that sweet flavor along with the caramelized onions. Of course, we have to let it simmer for the alcohol to evaporate, and we only get that delicious flavor of brandy, that touch of brandy, without having alcohol in our recipe. And yeah, I think it's really funny that in this part of the video my mom was like super attentive that I won't get overboard with the with the quantity of alcohol. And it's looking pretty good actually. Now, once the mixture looks like this, you have to reserve a few tablespoons of it. You'll see why later on in the recipe. It's time to add more wet ingredients. As you can see, I didn't care much about quantities in this recipe. I don't care much about quantities in any recipe that I made, but I used approximately half a cup of cream and half a cup of milk. Stir that up, and in this part of the process, all the brownish stuff that we talked about will actually dissolve and give our sauce a ton of flavor. And don't forget that we are still in low heat. Add some salt, some Norsuiza. I don't know. How do you say Norsuiza in English? I don't know. Well, add some Norsuiza. And the Nor Suiza and the salt are basically to counter the sweetness that our sauce has right now. Then add carefully all the mixture in the blender. Now, it is important. At this point, you have to wait a couple minutes for the mixture to cool down. Otherwise, your sauce will basically explode all over the place when you blend it. And we don't want that to happen, because otherwise your mom will be sad of all the mess you've made on her birthday. So yeah, just wait until your mixture cools down. Once your mixture is at room temperature, you can go ahead and blend it. Now, in a refractory, you have to place your potatoes, which have been previously cooked, in the microwave. I don't know why I didn't take pictures of the process of cooking the potatoes that day. I don't know. I think I forgot. But it is very simple. You can also do it in the microwave. So you put the potatoes in, well, I actually have a special thing to cook potatoes. It is like a kind of cross with 4 ends, and in each end it has like pointy things where you put the potato, so it doesn't fall, but also so you can poke it in different places, like make little holes in the potato, and those holes will help the potato to cook better in the inside. But if you don't have that, I don't even know why I have that. You can use a fork to make the holes in the potato and put them just in a plate in the microwave for about 8 minutes, basically. Yeah. Then you have to cut the potatoes in slices and salt them. It is very important that you salt them, because in the microwave you didn't add salt, and potatoes need salt. And the slices, I like to make thick slices, and I didn't peel the potatoes because I like the skin. But you can do whatever you want. Now let's continue with the footage. It will be basically like building a lasagna. It will be with layers. So the first layer are potatoes, then sauce, then potatoes, then sauce, then potatoes, then sauce. I did 3 layers. In the last layer, you add salt, you add the caramelized onions that you previously reserved when you did the sauce, and add some cheese. I am using mozzarella cheese, so it melts and browns super well, and it'll give you a great contrast with the sweetness of the sauce and with the salt of the potatoes. And this is the last step. You just have to put that in the microwave for about 6 minutes, and basically that's it. There you have it, a delicious meal and a happy mom.